When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. Tonight on Live Green Tennessee, we visit Marble Springs State Historic Site that is home to the first governor of Tennessee, John Sevier, and is also home to a new farmers market in South Knoxville. We travel to Chattanooga's Art District to see how a hostel is making its name known for leadership and environmental design. And finally, we learn how agriculture can lead to art at Tojo Creek Ranch in Lebanon. All this and more coming up next on Live Green Tennessee.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to bring you stories from across our great state on Live Green Tennessee. Home to pioneer, soldier, statesman, and first governor of Tennessee, John Sevier, the Marble Springs State Historic Site not only gives us a glimpse of the state's past, but now it is also home to a weekly farmers market serving the South Knoxville community and surrounding areas. East Tennessee PBS Chris Smith spoke with Executive Director Anna Chappelle about Marble Springs and its historic connection to the Marble Springs Farmers Market.
My name is Anna Chappelle. I am the Executive Director of Marble Springs State Historic Site, and Marble Springs was the home of John Sevier, first governor of Tennessee. He actually lived here later in life from about 1800 to 1815 and relocated to Knoxville after he was elected governor of Tennessee in 1796. He was the natural figure that they were going to elect as their governor. Having served 6 terms, he was seen as a protector of the people. He was a family man, showed great concern for his children as indicated by letters that he would write. And he was very much interested in commerce. He was interested in using the land for farming, and of course he would grow grains, vegetables. He raised pigs on the property, and actually it was used initially as a weekend retreat until he lived here till from about 1800 to 1815. The buildings on Marble Springs were actually relocated here from different locations, with the exception of the building that is located behind me. We refer to that as the John Sevier Cabin. The John Sevier Cabin was the only original structure on the property when the state purchased the land in 1941. And all the other structures were brought here from other locations representing the life and times of John Sevier. One of those is a tavern that was actually located off of Walker Springs Road in West Knoxville, and it was going to be torn down in the name of progress. A group of high school students raised the funds in 1986 to have the structure relocated here. And then we have a loom house that was brought here from the McCall family farm. and actually represents textiles and how cloth was made in the 18th century, and we have many artifacts and objects that represent that craft. The farmers market was the brainchild that I established after I was hired December 2009. Our first year was in 2011. It came about because, for one thing, historic homes and the sites that they reside on have a great deal of difficulty with awareness and for revisitation. Once someone has a tour, there's really not much use to come back out here unless there's a reason to. And so that was part of the reason why I established the farmers market, was to raise awareness of the historic site, to also harken back to the history of this site being a working farm. And so it was basically a resource for the South Knoxville community who I had noticed did not have a farmers market in the area. Part of the goal of establishing the farmers market in order to educate the community was to promote healthy living, promote a resource for the community to be able to purchase fresh produce, fruits, vegetables, and even hand-knitted items. Part of the education in that is supporting local business. This is grassroots, and this is really, really very important, especially now. And I think that when people see what it is that they're doing when they purchase from a local farmer, and that you're really putting your money right back into the community, and that we can be part of that, that we can encourage that, is just an amazing opportunity for the site, and it's an amazing opportunity for the individual. It is an educational experience for them to know that they are helping their local community when they come to a farmer's market.
My name's Michael Clark, and I'm a vendor here at Marble Springs Farmers Market, and I've been selling produce and crafts and stuff here, and that's primarily what the market's for. Well, my farm is called Turkey Springs Farm. It's in Kimberlin Heights area. I have about 2.5 acres that I had corn and all this produce. I also raise alpacas and llamas. I use the fleece from the alpacas to make products here and sell them. Socks, toboggans, boot liners and things like that. And then in my free time in the winter, I make mountain dulcimers and turkey calls.
Hi, I'm Sonia Lauderdale. Sonia Bordeaux Lauderdale. These sauces were originated by my grandfather back in '45. And he went on to have 60 years in the barbecue business. And my brother and I picked it up for the last 25 years, made it, canned it, and gave it away. Everyone encouraged us so much. A little under 2 years ago, we began to market. Truthfully, how I came to be at the market here is it was starting up last year. And it's a community pride thing. We love South Knoxville and want to support it in every way we can. I have a steak sauce. I have 2 barbecue sauces, one a regular barbecue and one with a little New Orleans flair. It's called Simply Creole. And then in addition to, we have a Sweet Island sauce, which is like pineapple, apple, as well as horseradish and 3 different kinds of mustards. Oh, I have quite a clientele amongst the South Knoxville bunch. We support each other, and they've been awesome to me, and it's very important that I make it.
Thank you so much for visiting Marble Springs, and we hope to see you at Shopping at the Farmers Market, and we really look forward to having you here.
The Crash Pad is a boutique hostel, new construction, right in the middle of Chattanooga's revitalized art district that provides accommodations with a more social atmosphere than a hotel. WTCI's Ross Tillman takes us to this LEED Platinum certified establishment.
The Crash Pad is a boutique hostel, new construction, right in the middle of an awesome revitalizing art district, and we provide accommodations and a social experience that you simply cannot find at another hotel or anything like that.
We have an emphasis on all the outdoor adventure that's going on around Chattanooga. That's what drew us here and what we really love about this place, and we're just lucky to have that as a resource and to be able to base our business around it. That said, we are here for general tourism as well. Chattanooga gets huge tourist business, and we like picking up on that. Again, really, it's for anybody who wants to have a nice, safe, secure, affordable place to go stay and check out a new city.
So hostels, they originated in Germany in the 1930s as a way for students to travel inexpensively through the great cities in Europe and have more of a social atmosphere than a hotel. So we have kept that model. We have a combination of dormitory style and private accommodations for sleeping. We've got a living room, full kitchen, computer station, no TVs. It's a really small, intimate sort of bed and breakfast atmosphere.
What you can expect when you come to stay at the Crash Pad, a nice, quiet, clean bed. You're safe, you're secure. We've got a locking system, so only guests are allowed in the building. You come and check in, and the place is your home while you're here in Chattanooga. We've got the outdoor pavilion area with a gas fire pit, and it's just great for hanging out and having conversation, and, being with your friends. And so, that's what you get, is this kind of communal, vibey nature.
The layout of our building, it's really different than a hotel in so many ways. The biggest one regarding our rooms is that they're there for sleeping. We've built the social space in up here. It's a very simple layout back there. You've got everything you need. We've got more privacy than a lot of people are used to in a hostel or in any kind of dormitory style setup. Our super bunks have an awesome wraparound wooden construction with velvet privacy curtains on them. We've got really nice mattresses in all our beds, private sinks in the private rooms, lots of lockable storage, and that's it.
I've stayed in many hostels throughout the world, and this is one of the nicest hostels I think I've come across.
A lot of times hostels end up being loud and kind of hard to live in. Crash Pad is really, they focused on making it a really livable place.
I've been to a lot of other places similar to this for climbing, and they're just kind of hole in the walls. They're not unique in any way, but it looks like they put in a lot of effort here, and the design is really beautiful, and the rooms are cool. Just this whole setup is really nice. It's great.
So we recently received our LEED Platinum level certification. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It's basically an official checklist put forward and organized by the U.S. Green Building Council that tracks the environmental impact of your building from every phase, from design all the way through operations once you're open. The wall system, this precast insulated concrete panel system, really highly efficient, thermally efficient, quiet, quick construction, and that was a big chunk of our LEED certification because it allowed us 20 out of 20 credits for the optimized energy performance. And we've left all the walls exposed, so any visitor to this place immediately can see the guts of the place, and those happen to be what accounts for so much of the efficiency here. We've got gray water filtration systems in each of the 8 sinks we've got throughout the whole house. We've got a gray water filter, and so that takes the used sink water, filters it, and uses it to fill the toilet tanks. Other than that, low flow fixtures throughout the place, LED lights. Pretty much all the wood you see in here, including the bookshelves, the benches, all the beams and steps in all of our beds and bunks, the bulletin board, and a bunch of the strips in our countertops right here are all reclaimed hard pine out of the old roughly 1900 era house that used to sit on site. We've got a green roof up on top. We grow sedum up there. It's a really hardy, drought-tolerant native species that does a few functions. I mean, it prolongs the life of our roof, helps to insulate the building. It looks awesome. and it manages our stormwater runoff. So by proposing the green roof, we literally halved our stormwater requirements for the site.
We went with the typical LEED guidelines on the landscaping. We do not have a sprinkler system. We also, native and drought-tolerant plants, big thing. So it was pretty easy to stick within those guidelines because there are a lot of beautiful local species that worked for us, and worked with a local landscaper and a local architect, and came up with our beautiful landscape.
We've got a small solar panel array of 5 panels. We're plugged directly into the EPB power grid. So what they do is they measure the output of our system and credit our monthly energy bill with the amount that we're producing.
LEED certification to us was more than just the certification, or that to say we weren't going through this just to get an award. To us, it seemed like just the right thing to do, the conscionable thing to do, is to build to these sustainable standards. And that, LEED, that's what it is. It's a beautiful rubric for how to, build the most efficient and sustainable business that you can. It sounds hokey, but it just seemed like it was the right thing to do. I mean, we were lucky to be in a position where we could afford to do it. I mean, that said, it turns out that green building isn't that much more expensive. You can really do a lot with just a little bit extra.
If you're visiting downtown Chattanooga and looking for an alternative to a big box chain hotel, give us a call, come check us out, even if you've never stayed in a hostel before. We think it's a great time.
We would encourage everybody to come on down and at least see the place. You never know. We get a lot of people who come down here who are sure that this is not for them, and they come and they see it, and not only are they pleasantly surprised, but they'll end up booking for the night. So we just say leave your preconceived notions at home and come on down and check the place out for yourself.
I would say give it a try because, first of all, for outdoor lovers like myself, I like to travel on a budget, and when you can stay in a place that's affordable and the staff is friendly and it's comfortable, it's convenient, the facilities here are brand new, and it helps us save money so we can do all the things we love.
Dried hard gourds are used for crafting all year. Gourd birdhouses are used in the spring and summer for cavity nesting birds, and the crop can be used to make seasonal and holiday decorations. WCTE's Desiree Duncan took an art class at Tojo Creek Ranch and brings back this story on the history of gourd use in other countries throughout the calendar year.
What is a gourd and what do you do with it? That's a good question, actually. A gourd is actually the hard, durable fruit of certain members of the Cucurbitaceae family, which is a rather large family, but they're grown for utensils, ornamentation, general crafting, and just general purposes. They're a beautiful plant. The leaves are nice and big and green when the plant is growing, but the fruit will dry to a hard, durable shell, which can be used for making things such as bowls, dishes, baskets, containers, also birdhouses. The most obvious that you think of gourds today is the birdhouse. They've been used over the centuries for things that today we probably use Tupperware for and pottery. There's evidence that the gourds have been used well before pottery was even invented for everything I just mentioned. These certain members of this family of plants will grow. They take a long growing season, about 110 to 120 days. They have a variety of shapes and sizes. The large ones are called the hard-shelled gourds. They're the Larginaria cicerea. They grow in almost every continent in the world except the northern climates, such as northern North America or northern Europe, because they do take a long growing season. They like lots of sun and lots of water. And for that reason, the northern climates just don't have a temperate enough zone to grow them. Cultures all around the world have used them for various things, including ceremonial items. We have musical instruments and evidence of early musical instruments similar to a banjo that come out of Africa. We have an instrument called a shakeree. Both the southwestern American Indians and the African originals use them for masks and other ceremonial items. Zena and I bought the farm out here north of Lebanon in 1998 because we got tired of living in the city. We lived in East Nashville, and around about the time a certain professional football team was starting to build their stadium in the neighborhood where we lived, we thought now would be a good time to get out and get some property. We started out doing some hay, and then we found some gourds. I had actually planted a pack of seeds from a big box store called Assorted Gourds. That's what it was. And I got some interesting things. I took them to work, and someone said, there's a gourd show out at the Lebanon Fairgrounds next weekend. You should go check it out. And we did, and we were amazed to find what people did with gourds.
I got into gourd art when we had started growing them and just had so many of them, didn't know what to do with them, so I started painting first birdhouses, and since I like birds and different things, I would actually take different pictures out of magazines and transform it and put it onto the actual gourd, taking the time to paint it. Some of them, of course, would take 2-3 hours to paint. Others I could do fairly quickly. And then I would also do bowls. You can do bowls with them. You can cut holes in it and weave the patterns, which is called tenoriff.
My wife has always been an artist, and she discovered a whole new medium for her art, because you can paint on them, you can stain on them. If you can do it with a piece of wood, you can do it with a gourd. We then started going to more of these gourd festivals, learning more about it, got some books, and we also realized, well, here's a product that we could grow that we are excited about. So we decided that we would become the primary supplier of gourds for the other area local, or the local artists and crafters who like to work with gourds.
We actually started about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, with what we called the Gourd Patch, which was just people who were interested in gourds would come out, and each person would take a turn demonstrating something they had learned on what to do with a gourd. We did Santa Clauses using paper clay or DOS clay, which is an air-dried clay. We would do, of course, the bird houses. We did rain sticks, anything you could think of. And we figured that this would actually give us a little bit more of a on-farm experience by giving them the actual classes.
Now, the colorful ones that people find in the grocery stores every fall are actually a different branch of that tree. They're called the Cucurbita pepo, which is often just referred to as the ornamental gourds. They have a variety of colors, and some of them are multiple colored. They are picked usually for fall decorations, and because they're picked off the vine early, they have a tendency to rot rather than dry out to a hard woody shell. But if they're picked off the vine at the right time, when the vine is matured, then they too will dry to a hard, durable shell. It's just thinner and a little bit more fragile than their bigger cousins, the larginaria. And yet there is still one more gourd. It is called the loofah gourd. It is the dish rag gourd, or the sponge gourd. Many people don't realize that the loofah sponge actually comes from a gourd. And it's the third member of the family. Instead of taking the insides out and throwing them away, on the loofah gourd, we take the shell off and use the inside as a sponge.
I've not taken any classes. I've actually done the art all on my own, reading different books, finding different techniques, and just practice, and just learning it. I've enjoyed the idea of art, and this just expanded it from a flat form onto a curved surface or whatever surface you want.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Live Green Tennessee, where we take you all across the state into the farms and businesses of those who are making the move to eating fresh, living sustainably, and helping us all be more organic in our thinking and the way we live our lives as Tennesseans. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Live Green Tennessee.
If you would like more information about Live Green Tennessee, please visit our website at livegreentv.org, where you can find everything from healthy recipes to past episodes and more. This program is brought to you in part by...
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.